Hello, Libra. Welcome to your reading of September 2023. My name is Dawn. You're listening to Dawn Williams Tarot. Thank you for being here. As a reminder, please take those things that resonate with you and leave those that don't. And to get a full picture for your energy for the month of September, you may want to watch not only your sun sign, but your moon sign and your rising sign. The sun sign represents your core personality. The moon sign represents your emotions. And then your rising sign represents how you present yourself to the world or the mask that you wear. Okay? So the way that I've been guided to do the readings this month have been to start with a spirit animal oracle. This is to help you connect with your spirit guides that are in the animal kingdom, as well as bringing in more energy from Mother Earth. And then also at the end, I'm going to pull a card from the Angel Therapy Oracle by Doreen Virtue. This deck is from 2008. I've had it all these years, and I occasionally I am not as familiar, so I will probably read whatever the card is that pulls, only because I just really like the way she expresses how she describes her cards. Okay, so we're going to start off. I've already shuffled your cards, and this month you have Mouse Spirit. And this energy is talking about tend to the small things. So this is what the guidance is from your animal spirit this month, is to make sure that you take care of the small things, tend to the small things. And now I'm going to pull your cards. So we start off with the Two of Wands, the Seven of Swords. Let me move this over some more so I make sure I can get all the cards in here so you can see them. This deck that I'm using, I typically don't use this deck for reading, but for whatever reason, I felt guided to do so today. This is a deck that my daughter got me for my birthday, and it's a limited edition deck, so I absolutely love it. I love all the colors and the symbols and the symmetry. And okay, so looking at your reading, you don't have any major arcana. So that just means that there's going to be lots of energies that you're going to be working with that you've probably been working through already, maybe through the month of August and then completing, because you have this 10 in the month of September. Okay. But we start off, you've got Two Swords, Two Wands, and Cups. So the wand energy wands have to do with our inspiration, our creativity, our passion, our motivations, and our intuition. And twos, this is the Two of Wands, has to do with choices. So you're going to have some choices this next month with possible travel. When I see this card pop up in readings, this typically means to me that people feel as though they're in a position where they're going to have choices in terms of going for an adventure of some sort, some kind, or staying where they are in their comfort zone. And I feel like those two energies kind of conflict with one another, because there's a part of you that's going to feel like, oh, I'm just going to go and I'm going to, go for the adventure. But also by going with the adventure, you don't always know the outcome. And the other opposite energy of that is staying in your comfort zone, meaning you're safe because there's no risk. So with this card, there's a bit of risk involved. This card talks about planning your future. It's talking about making progress. It's talking about using this fire energy to make a shift or a decision to move forward. Okay? And with that choice, you want to pay attention to the small details. The reason why it's important to pay attention to the small details is because right now we are in Mercury retrograde. Actually, we've got seven planets that are in retrograde. When Mercury is in retrograde, it affects our communication. It affects our travel plans. It affects electronics. So you're going to want to slow down and pay attention to those details, okay? Because we are in Mercury retrograde until September 15th, I think. And that will affect you in a myriad of different ways, depending on how Mercury typically affects you. But because there's other planets in retrograde, it's probably a really good idea just to slow down a bit and think things through, okay? Now, the Seven of Swords, sevens have to do with gaining experience or utilizing existing experience, and swords have to do with how we express with our mind. So this is all thought, right? Swords are how we use our mental abilities, how we communicate, how we make decisions on things. It is an air sign, which you are an air sign, so this is a very comfortable place for you to be. However, this card, Seven of Swords, is typically associated with deception. So it could mean that there's some lying, cheating, stealing that's going on around you. So just be aware of that energy, okay? This card also talks about using your intellect. Using your intellect so that you, in a traditional tarot deck, there is a gentleman who is carrying 5 swords. He's leaving 2 swords behind. But the story is he has snuck in, so he's using his stealth, his own stealth, to go into the enemy camp, steal 5 swords from the enemy. So in the morning, when he has to face them, they don't have as many options of, against him. Like, he's being stealthy. So it's telling you, this could also represent tiptoeing around an issue. Maybe there's been something that you have going on in your life and you haven't really addressed it full throttle. You haven't really talked about it, discussed it, but it's there. It's kind of like the white elephant in the room. So it's telling you tiptoeing around an issue, but also don't rush into things, right? Because you still have to tend to these small details. This card is also a card of tactics, right? So it's telling you to use your tactics to avoid conflict. So those are things that you're going to have to think about this next month to get you through towards the end of the month. The Page of Swords, again, is a mental exercise. And it's also about thinking too much, like putting too much thought into the things. And it's like all talk, no action. This is in your obstacles position in this reading. So these are things you're going to want to think about this month. It's telling you that you're going to have to make some type of a decision, make a decision of some kind, right? Because you also have this Two of Wands here that's saying, what are you going to do? So it's telling you to be flexible with your dealings with others, right? Because this page represents a young energy or a young person. And it could just very well be that the situation that you find yourself in the month of September, you're going to have to look at things in a little bit of a different way, or a different way of doing things, okay? So be aware of that. Be flexible with other people's opinions. Be flexible with other people's ideas. because this person believes that for him, he has all his answers and he knows how to get from A to B. However, that option is not the only option, right? And the other thing is that by being stubborn with that energy, you're cutting off options that you may not have thought about before, or you may not have experienced before. The other thing this card is cautioning you about is gossip. This is a card, because it's in this position of your obstacles, represents being aware of gossip, being aware of arrogance when you're communicating with others, right? So just think before you speak. There's nothing wrong with you stepping back. If somebody asks you a question and you tell them, I'd like to think about it for a few minutes and I'll get back to you. Or let me put some thought into this so that I can answer in a way that makes most sense for both of us, right? To come to conclusions of things. So that's what this card is cautioning you about. Your strength card is the Queen of Cups. Now, queens in tarot typically are patient and understanding. She is extremely intuitive. She has a highly attuned emotional intelligence. So cups have to do with our feeling center. This has to do with our heart. She's telling you that, you need to value your emotions. You need to value your feelings. Okay. It's telling you to more or less, as an air sign and as a sign that really resonates very well with the sword energy, which is intellect. She's asking you, in order for you to really master your September, allow yourself to sink into that heart space, right? She's very compassionate. She's calming. She's intuitive. She's emotionally intelligent, and she's stable. And so it just feels as though if you were just to allow yourself to sink into that space and become this energy. Now, this is representative of an energy, and even though she is the feminine aspect for this card, it doesn't necessarily mean that if you're a male that it excludes you, because really it's just the energy of the card. It doesn't matter whether it's female or male. It's just saying embrace those specific characteristics. So she is saying lead with your heart. She truly honors her feelings, and she wants to be a person that can give very good advice. But she doesn't give just good advice because of her mental experiences. She gives good advice because of her emotional experience, because she can bring that connection, that heart connection, into those exchanges for you this month. Okay. So she's asking you for the month of September for you to think about how your emotions are serving you. When you find that you're getting too heady or getting too mental, she's asking you to sink into your heart. Okay. Because that's really going to be an energy you're going to want to work very closely with in September. Your final card is the 10 of Wands. Now, the 10 of Wands is about accomplishments, responsibilities. It is a card about feeling burdens, but it's hard work. It's completion, okay? Typically in the regular tarot deck, you see a gentleman that's carrying these 10 wands. But in where he's headed to his home, because he planted those rods, he planted those wands, and now he's bringing them home to harvest. So basically, he is getting close to the end of his journey, and he's bringing in his harvest of what he's been working hard to experience and to have a sense of completion, success, and accomplishment. Sometimes life throws us into a place where we feel as though we have these heavy burdens, But sometimes those burdens are the things that bring us to a successful conclusion. And that's kind of what this card talks about. So this card also represents his potential reward after all of his hard work. So this is a card of completion. This is a card of inspiration and creativity. And after all of his hard work, he gets to enjoy the fruits of his labor. Okay, so that is your tarot portion. And now we're going to pull your angel card, and the card itself is actually energy regarding parents. The message reads, the divine truth is that your parents eternally love you to the best of their ability. The angels are helping you heal from any pain associated with your mother or father. So I'm going to read her message. Parents. Okay. You drew this card because the answer to your question involves emotions connected to your mother or father. So this is going to be a healing card for you. This is the energy that you're going to, so as we have all of this energy in these retrogrades, typically what a retrograde gives us the opportunity to do is it allows us to go back either in our lifetime or in multiple lifetimes to help heal those things that we haven't quite completely healed from. And this may be one for you. For example, if you're having difficulty receiving loving kindness from others, the underlying issue could stem from unhealed emotions you have towards your mom. That's because receptivity is a feminine energy, which is represented by our mothers. If you feel afraid to receive love or feel guilty about asking for your needs to be met, then call upon the angels to heal and help. With your father, the primary spiritual responsibility is about male energy and developing confidence in your abilities to go out into the world and make a positive difference. If your self-confidence is wavering, ask the angels to help you mend your emotional connections with your dad. This card is also a signal that your parents do love you, even if the way they showed it wasn't fulfilling for you. If your mother or father is in heaven, then they send this card to you as a way of saying, I love you. So the next part of this reading is about the action steps that you can take to help heal these connections. So the angels will intervene in any painful emotion associated with your parents if you'll just ask. Go to a quiet and private place and say this request either silently or aloud. Guardian angels of myself and of my mother and father, I call upon you now. I ask for your healing blessings with my internal and external relationship with my parents. I'm willing to release emotional toxins associated with my childhood, adolescence, and adulthood. I ask the angels to help me trade any and all pain for peace now. That's a beautiful card. I hope that this reading has been helpful to you. It looks as though you've got some great things to work on this month, but it also looks like you will be able to have some completed healing work done. So it's like this whole month you're going to be working towards completion. You're going to be working towards a successful ending. Okay? Thank you so much for being here. I wish that you have a very successful and heartfelt September, and I look forward to speaking with you again. Until then, enjoy your September.